Hey guys, it's John C Morley here, sir. Monday, and it is 2:06 a.m. in the morning. I do realize that I just got off a flight, but I always promise to get these out to you before I get to bed. That is my promise to you guys. Whether you're here right now at 2:06 in the morning, 2:06 in the afternoon, 12 noon, 12 midnight, 4 a.m., 4 p.m., I'm so grateful that you're here. But if you're new, just launch your camera app, point over the QR code like so. Touch the yellow lips. You'll get my link tree as easy as that, and you'll be able to see all my great stuff that you guys can see, amazing stuff that can help inspire your life. So let's get right into the topic because I know it is early in the morning, so I do want to get this off, and then I do need to get to bed. So the topic is transforming a Thanksgiving transformation, and I think that's quite a bit, pretty amazing if I do say so myself, because when we think about Thanksgiving, a lot comes to mind. So the first thing I want to talk about, first of all, this is the IFYL show. We're on series two, which means we're in the second year, show 47, episode number two. This is Sunday's show, everyone, in case you're wondering. And we're talking about, remember, Thanksgiving is not solely about eating everything in sight. Now, I know when you talk to some people, it's like, oh my gosh, they've got to stuff their face with everything that they can. And although this might sound, like a great thing to do, it's not. First of all, we have to realize the one thing about Thanksgiving, and it is giving thanks, right? And I think a lot of people don't quite understand that. They think it's just all about food. And it's not all about food, ladies and gentlemen. I got to tell you, it's not all about food. It's not all about food. And you might be saying to me, hey, John, I don't know how or why this is going on, but you have to embrace like what's happening, okay? And Thanksgiving, as we said, is a time when everyone comes together. But I know it's always the holiday. Everybody says, you have to eat so much food, and yeah, I mean it's good to eat a little bit, but you shouldn't walk away from the table being like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't eat anything in sight. And when you walk away from the table and it's like that, and it's not just Thanksgiving, it's all meals. So I want to tell you that you need to do everything in moderation, right? And so when we think about the fact that, we have all this food, just because we have all this food doesn't mean that we should eat like every piece of it. Okay. It doesn't mean that at all. I know that you're probably saying to me, hey, John, I don't eat that much, but for some reason you do other times. And so what I want to tell you is that when Thanksgiving rolls around, you're going to appreciate the fact that again it's not about the food. Of course the food is great, there's camaraderie, and food is part of it, don't get me wrong, all right? But if the whole day is just about food, okay, and I'm saying just about food, what do I mean by that? I mean that you don't have any of the premise and to figure out how much food you can eat. um, that's a problem. I mean, a wise person once told me, you can either eat to live or live to eat. And we should eat to live. If we live to eat, then it's unhealthy. You're talking to somebody who was 250 pounds and now down to like 165, 166 pounds. I'm still working to lose another 5 to 7 pounds. So, thinking about this one thing, that Thanksgiving is not about stuffing your face. Let me say it again. Thanksgiving is not about stuffing your face. Um, People have, I guess, over the years and the centuries, have somehow given rise to the fact that, you know, Thanksgiving is a time to stuff your face. Um, it's about unity. I mean, when the Indians and the Pilgrims came over, they weren't stuffing their face. They were eating a healthy amount of food, but they weren't coming away from the table and be like, oh my gosh, I can't like sit there anymore. So here's a good rule of thumb. If you get away from that dinner table and it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta sit down because I can't fit into these pants anymore, or I feel so bloated. I mean, you've gone to restaurants before, right? And you go to these restaurants, and for whatever reason, you go there, and I know I've been there when I was in high school and college. You go there and you would eat this cake and you eat this whole cake, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like I just can't eat. But when I was able to portion things, see, that's what makes eating fun. When you can do it in moderation. Now I know you might be saying, well, John, there's lots of great food. Great. So try everything, sample everything. Don't fill your plate with so much food that you need 10 people to carry it. You know what I'm saying. And I think for whatever reason, a lot of people, you know, just make Thanksgiving an excuse to have to eat. Okay. But it shouldn't be that. Okay. I know that you're probably wondering, why do people eat so much? Think about that for a minute. Why does it happen? Why? I think people get excited. I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, believe that Thanksgiving should be about how much food you can eat. So the question you might be asking, hey John, so when did Thanksgiving, I mean this is really a good question. When did Thanksgiving become about stuffing ourselves? Yes, we stuff a turkey. Um so it's a feast day, right? And there's lots of great food, but I think sometimes people just they get a little bit out of hand with this. We have stuffing, right? But that doesn't mean to stuff ourselves. And Thanksgiving has changed over the 19th centuries. Thanksgiving it's really changed, and the type of meals that are put out have changed. Thanksgiving didn't get its start really until about 200 years after the first Thanksgiving celebration. And Thanksgiving has evolved over the years from dishes to how the holiday is celebrated. But a lot of people just find it's like an excuse that they can have like five different types of pie. So if you want five different types of pie, that's perfectly fine. But what I want you to do is I want you to take very small pieces of it so that those five pieces of pie would maybe equal maybe your one slice of pie. See, this is the important thing we have to learn about, portion control and stuff like that. So that gets to my next topic, which is how to portion your Thanksgiving food on your plate. Now, I know that sounds really crazy, but if I asked you how to portion your food on Thanksgiving, a lot of people be like, well, I don't know. Divide your plate into quarters. Okay. One quarter for the turkey or the ham or whatever the protein is, one quarter for the starchy stuff like potatoes, pastas, and half of the green and colorful vegetables. Now, the thing is, are you going to gain 100 pounds by going crazy on Thanksgiving? No, but we really shouldn't come away from the table feeling that we are so stuffed. Okay. We should not come away from the table feeling we're so stuffed, because when we do, it's just not healthy for us. And it's like, I don't know about you, but it's like you don't want to eat, you don't want to move. And I know that might sound crazy, but it's not. And I've learned that when we can learn how to ration our food, um, I think it just makes a pretty amazing change in our lives. And that changes the fact that we can choose the amount of food that we want to eat. That's right. I said choose the amount of food that we want to eat. And if we can choose and if we can eat that food, a wise person once told me that when you put portions on your plate, they should be about the size of your inner palm. Okay, like right here, right like this inner palm. And I know you might say, well, gee, I'm still hungry. Well, you see, you're not really hungry. It's that you're not eating the right foods and your body is just waiting for this. So, like, if I go, like tonight, I was at the airport and I had a small little apple cake, little apple crumb pie that they made. And so that pie was my portion. That's all I had. And so we can get in the habit of doing good things like portion controlling our lives. It's not hard to portion control, but it does take some willpower. Once you've done it a few times and you get familiar with how to do it, then it's like you want to do it all the time. And so when you portion things out, you're going to find that not only will you not be hungry, but later on during the day, if you want to have something else, your body's going to be able to process that food better. And since it can do that, it's going to be able to digest better. I think these are really cool things. But Thanksgiving has gotten to be, yes, Thanksgiving has gotten to become the holiday where people stuff themselves. Let me say that again. Thanksgiving has become the holiday where people stuff themselves. Maybe it's because we say we're going to stuff a turkey, but that shouldn't be the reason. The real reason, as we talked about, started was in 1637 as the true origin for Thanksgiving, since Massachusetts, at the Bay Colony's governor John Winthrop declared a day to celebrate colonial soldiers who had just slaughtered hundreds of picket men, women, and children in what is now Mystic, Connecticut. So, pretty interesting, right? Um, People, you know, they eat a lot of turkey and then they get very tired, right? And this is a question people always ask me, John, why do I get tired after a Thanksgiving meal? Well, so to answer that, there is serotonin in a person's brain, and it becomes metabolized in the melatonin as the turkey and carbohydrates are digested. And this melatonin makes people feel a little drowsy. So, this Thanksgiving, when you choose what you're going to have, and think about what you're going to have from a perspective that you want to eat, but you don't want to live to eat. You want to be able to eat, okay, so you can live. That's very important. And as we embrace that concept this Thanksgiving, and think about this other thing. If you ever gone shopping before, many of you have, you never go shopping on an empty stomach. What happens? Well, you want to buy everything in the store. So if you go shopping when you've just eaten or you're full, then you're not going to buy all these other things that you really don't need. So I hope this was useful to you guys, because as we grow closer to Thanksgiving and even a couple days beyond, I feel that a lot of people get in the loop of acting a certain way at Thanksgiving because they've done it in the past. If that way hasn't worked for you, if you found that you're getting sick, or that you're just bloated when you get around the dinner table, it can happen not just at Thanksgiving. You go like, oh my gosh, I got to have this great pie. No, you don't. You can have a piece of that pie. Well, the diner served this huge pie. Great. You know what I do? I cut the pie in 3 pieces or 4 pieces, and I have one piece of pie. See, I'd rather have something scrumptiously delicious and savory, or sweet, but I don't want to have something that is going to make me feel like, oh my gosh, I ate this and it's like, ugh. Like even with the pie I had tonight, okay? I had that pie and I didn't have anything else. And I was not bloated. And see, that's the way I like to be. And I think that this Thanksgiving, if you could make the effort so that when you're at Thanksgiving, you can enjoy your food and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, I've got to just sit, in front of the table. I've got to undo my shirt and I can't like sit there comfortably. That should not be Thanksgiving. So you don't need to eat for a whole week. You're going to have food after Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just Thanksgiving. So, you want to have some turkey, you want to have some stuffing, great, have that. But don't have 6 helpings of it. You want to have go back and have a second helping, fine. But, it's not the time to fill your entire plate with stuffing. Like as I said to you, portion should be the size of this inner palm. So you want to make it a little bigger than that, that's fine. Even your turkey should be, about that size too. Vegetables, same thing. So if we know how to portion our food, we're going to get our brain and body to be on board with actually eating in a healthy manner. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. You know it has been an amazing privilege, of course, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you this fantastic, well, really, it's Sunday Eve going into the morning of Monday, November 20th, because I just love to share content with you guys. So definitely, go to the QR code, go to believemeachieve.com, click on that PayPal link, buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a scrumptious plate of savory desserts, which you're only going to have a sliver of, by the way, not the whole cake. All right, so have yourself a great rest of your night. I'm going to see you guys later tonight. So be well, and remember, Thanksgiving can be a great holiday when we remember to do 2 things. Thanksgiving is not about stuffing yourself or making sure your plate is 10 miles high. It's learning to portion your food so when you do, you can have a more pleasant experience eating. Have yourself a great rest of your night or rest of your morning, as it is 2:23 a.m. Take care, everyone. I got to get some shut eye, but I'll see you guys later. All right, be well, everyone.